Welcome to Black Spring. Now, today we'll look at a story from the Midwest, and that story will come from the city of Chicago. Now, after one of the deadliest weekends, the mayor seems to remain stoic in her efforts to quell the protesters, the rioting, and the looters. Now, also, Mayor Lightfoot, in her attempt, the curfew doesn't quite quell the violence. Now, by now, we've seen the effects of the rioting in the major cities, metropolitan areas from New York City to Seattle. However, the full scope of crime in Chicago and its sweeping fatalities seem to remain untold by the left-wing media and the mainstream media. Let's take a peek at a discourse between advocates and activists on this segment. Thank you so much for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn.
Chicago experiencing even more chaos and crime and carnage in their streets. Just listen to these chilling remarks, a recent conference call obtained by WTW News from a Chicago alderman and Lori Lightfoot's shocking response. Take a listen.
We can't expect our police, and I don't fault them at all, to be able to control this. But I know that we asked our faith base yesterday to stand as the front line between police and looters and rioters. And I am simply not comfortable telling my churches, those people, to be the intermediary in the middle of a riot. Half our neighborhoods are already obliterated. It's too late. What happens when they start going after residents, going into the neighborhoods? Once they start trying to break down people's doors? Well, no, I want an answer. You commented on everybody. I want an answer. It's not something you ignore. This is a question that I have.
I think you're 100% full of what I think.
All right, joining us now with reaction, we have civil rights attorney Leo Terrell, along with the co-host of the Tightrope podcast, professor at the ever-prestigious Harvard University, Dr. Cornel West. Dr. West, 749 cops, rocks, bricks, Molotov cocktails, 22 cops in D.C. hospitalized for concussions. We saw a 38-year police veteran murdered in St. Louis. We have a cop in Vegas shot in the head. 749. Do you support this madness of defunding the police?
Well, let me first say it's just good to be in dialogue with you. God bless your loved ones. And as you know, we just buried old brother George.
We've all, there's universal, Professor, there's universal agreement.
We got to keep it. This day has been a very, very heavy day for many of us, my brother. So in talking about
universal agreement.
Let's try to be clear about this now. We must have respect, and there must be ability to protect. You have to have police who respect the community. There has to be some community control, accountability of both citizens and police, and recognizing that the deeper issues of poverty, dilapidated schools, housing, shattered family, communities, not enough jobs with a living wage, that generates a despair.
Professor, let me ask you, serious question.
But there has to be democratic control over the police, though,
Professor, I need to ask you. Every liberal big city, Chicago, run decades by Democrats. They've allowed the violence, and they have failed our American children with the most horrific schools in the country.
Goes to the police. They don't have enough housing. They don't have enough education, and they certainly don't have enough jobs with a living wage. That's under Rahm Emanuel. Now, I'm no fan of Rahm Emanuel, but I'm certainly no supporter, as you know, of you and your good friend, Brother Trump himself.
Why didn't Rahm Emanuel? Why did he not fix the violence?
But I'm going to ask in the name of truth.
Okay, Leo, why didn't he fix the violence? Why haven't they fixed our broken school systems? We have failed America's children.
You know, Sean, you asked Dr. Cornel West the type of question you asked in a court of law. He won't answer them because he's just giving you old talking point. I'll speak to you, Dr. Cornel West, black man to black man. There's looting going on, and you try to compete. No, it's my turn. It's my turn. You try to conflate protesting and police misconduct. And shame on you. And you're absolutely wrong. You won't address the issue. You will refuse to address the issue because I'm talking to you. I'm talking. You're not my brother. You're not my brother. You are hurting black people by acting this position. You are taking the wrong position. That's it. No, my brother. That stuff plays out. That plays out. Address the question. Do you? Oh my gosh! You have lost control. You're a dinosaur. You're an outright dinosaur. You have lost it, sir. I'm not part of your group. I'm not part of your group. You have lost it. You are a dinosaur. And you know what?
If you were Neolithic, my brother.
You are wrong, my friend. No, I don't think so. Because your position is so way off. I will not respect
you. You come out of the block disrespecting people.
Yeah,
you disrespect me, the day that Brother Floyd is
and you want. That does not work on me. That does not work on me. You're right, my brother. Keep saying that. It's all talking points. Old talking points. Those are old talking points.
Hang on, guys. Leo, give me a second. Guys, all right, everybody's mic'd out. Hang on. Guys, one at a time. Cornel West, then we'll go to Leo. Cornel, you're up.
Not on that day. Not when Floyd Jr. put in the grave. No,
Leo? Okay, I'll wait. Okay, thank you. Can I just, you know what? You asked him a very simple question. He won't say he's against defunding the police because you know what? He's in favor of defunding the police. I'm opposed to it. And this man is a dinosaur. We have to protect our community, our black community. And you know why Professor West and I are on this program? Because we have education. We have to improve education.
Let me go back to Professor West. Professor, go ahead. Professor.
You're a dinosaur.
Don't put words in my mouth. Sean, what you have people on this show that can't respect the people who call?
Oh my gosh, you're giving talking points. There's no respect there because you are just giving talking points.
Sean, I ain't got no talking points. Sean knows I'm as critical of the Democratic Party oftentimes the Republican Party. I don't talk talking points at all.
Let me ask Cornell. You agree with Cornel West? Cornel West, I want to ask you a question.
Talk about truth and justice.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so
you never been to the courtroom. You're not a lawyer. You're not a civil rights lawyer. I'll match my credentials against you any day.
We ain't talking about credentials.
Cut him off.
We ain't talking about credentials. We talking about respect. We talking about respect.
You get no respect from me. You get no respect from me. Cut him off.
Don't put words in my mouth and don't come out here disrespecting me on the day.
All right. I gotta let it go. Thank you both. A little out of control. I tried.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Now, what I will say is that you witnessed something that was a bit of a spirited, or you could say a heated exchange between Leo Terrell and Dr. Cornel West. But did you recognize any leadership in this exchange? You also could say you witnessed a duel between a civil rights lawyer and a activist professor. But the ultimate struggle here was more of a power struggle that I could see between the two. The credibility amongst activism, that seemed to be the defense between the two. Before the conversation could even begin, neither of them could show restraint or credibility or even a bit of integrity for the platform in which they were on. So how can they lead or advocate for a city in such a tumultuous and chaotic time? So back to the issue at hand, which of course deals with the violence. Dr. West did mention himself emphatically that the city must be under democratic control. That's a very strong statement, but has it not been? I mean, in this year alone of 2020, Chicago is only one death short of the rate that it was in 2019. It's estimated around 327 deaths and 176 shootings. With this being just the start, or just the mid of 2020, statistics suggest that the number will rise during the summer months and weekends. Also, here again, I point to this is a Democrat stronghold. So Dr. Cornel West deflects and does offer talking points, but he will not respond if he agrees with defunding police, or he won't be clear what his point is. And that's where Leo starts to do an attack. He's saying he's deflecting. He's not going to answer you for under his own convictions. So the other point here was, back to Dr. Cornel West's words again, Rahm Emanuel's leadership was in place prior to Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Okay, and who could forget, who else hails from the city of Chicago? Barack Obama. So you've had men in leadership positions, and yet the city remains in a dangerous and very, 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 very triggered and hostile. It's a hostile environment on the south side and the west sides of Chicago. So let me know what you think. Who can quell the violence, the gun violence and the homicides in such a war zone on the south sides and the west sides of Chicago? Does Lightfoot have a plan? Or do you think defunding the police is going to be the answer? Or even a privatization of the police in that area, in the city? Let me know what you think. Let me know what your concerns are, your comments. Also, if you could like, subscribe, share, and make sure you hit the notification bell to continue to receive the notifications. Also, please make sure you subscribed at this time. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn.